Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of FTB Integrations. And for today's episode, well, I kind of grinded a little bit in those dimensional dungeons and I was actually able to get some iridium ingots, so I was actually able to make the antimatter constructor, which I've been sitting AFK until I got, well, one antimatter, and as soon as I got one, I kind of got a lot from this quest just by collecting them. So now I'm all the way up to 9. Now I'm gonna take these 9 and immediately turn them into 1 ingot for one reason and one reason only. Is if we go over here, this one, yeah, as you can see, we can make the iridium alloy. Now this takes ingots and advanced alloys and a diamond to make this bad boy. And we can also just check this option here. Why? Because antimatter actually allows us to duplicate some of our items. Besides, of course, some of these like crafting recipes, as you can see, we can actually duplicate a lot, pretty much all the ores. Yeah. So if it has an ore version, you can duplicate it, or I mean, not even duplicate it. For example, take 1 tin ingot in crystallized oil, stone, some light gray, and boom, 8 tin. If you do it with coal, you get 16. Do it with apatite, get 8 apatite, and so on and so forth. And you can just get multiple and multiple items this way, which is incredibly powerful if you have a lot of antimatter, because you basically have infinite resources now. But moving on after that, I kind of want to make this area like look a little bit better. Like you can see, it doesn't look very good. I started to place down some runes here so we can eventually move up to the tier 4 blood altar, so you can maybe even automate this in some sense. So in order to get some cool building blocks for this area, I went ahead and moved my quarry. Yes, I moved my quarry all the way to a mesa biome. You guys can see it's doing okay. I've been AFK for a while, so it's actually just pumping. I should also upgrade some of these drawers so I can have a little bit more of these, like 32 stacks, 32. I mean, this one's not 32 because I took some. Then this one and this one, and we should start, yeah, it should start getting some other resources now. I maybe want to put some more drawers for gravel and all those things. But yeah, the main goal of actually putting it here is to get more gold, because I'm kind of low on gold. Go to the storage and just check on gold. We have 398. I believe this is one of the lowest like normal ores that I have, like 1k lead, 1.6k tin, 3k iron, 2.5 copper. I even have more osmium than I have gold, because I've been using tons and tons of gold. And actually I might just want to do some of the upgrades right now, because they're not really that expensive. I was missing some sticks. Of course, you guys know sticks, it's probably the easiest thing to have in Minecraft. And just in case you guys want to take a look at it, here it is, the antimatter constructor. I just hooked it up directly into here. The only issue is that it's super slow, like super slow. It takes 1 million energy. These guys are running low now on lava, so I do need to increase my power production. That's why this guy is like kind of slowed down a lot. So I do need to expand, like, I mean, not expand, just use this empty space, for example. Got a lot of empty space here. I might just want to make a massive lava farm, because currently the only lava production I have is this thing. So as you can see, it's not super crazy. Yeah, it's just pumping in. I do even need to get some netherrack at some point, because it's running low on netherrack as well. But yeah, this is not ideal. It needs to be a whole lot better. So I need to expand this a little bit better, or maybe there's a better way to have some lava production now that I actually have. Yeah, maybe a magma crucible is a better option, because I can just toss it in with cobblestone. Though it takes 200,000. Okay, so magma blocks. Can I craft magma blocks? If I have magma cream, I can. Is there any way I can automate magma cream? If I have a farm, a magma... What's a... yeah, if I have a magma cube farm, we could do this. Oh yeah, okay, this is just a crafting recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at all the other options we have for this. There's even a ritual with life essence, but I don't want to do that. So probably the best option will most likely be cobblestone, but it takes a lot of power for cobblestone. Like 200,000 is way too much for cobblestone, I think. But I can't quite easily automate magma blocks or netherrack, so maybe cobblestone is the way to go. So I decided to go ahead and do some little things. You know, I upgraded this to full, and now I actually have some sort of building going on here. Separated this area, which is basically the demon stone fabric, which requires a supply of stone, regular stone, and I just took all this on, and then these guys do their own thing. And whenever I need any resource, like for example right now I need blood, I can take off the armor and I can just sit here, and as you guys can see, it's actually using me to get blood onto there. It's not the best way to automate this, but you know, if it works, right? You know, you can't really complain about that. And then I just put the armor back on and done. Now I did go ahead and craft these magical eggs. I had some leftover Gaia spirits, I have some Enderium coins, of course I have eggs, so I made 4 of these bad boys. Now why did I make this? Because they're actually part of a quest line. Yes, because they allow me to store a mob in its spawn egg. So it's pretty good, and it actually gives me an extra one. For example, if I want to make, which is probably something I will end up making, a witch farm, I can just use this egg on a witch farm, and I get the witch spawn egg, which means I can alter a spawner to actually be a witch spawner. So that's really handy, like super good. And now this actually wants us to make this, the lunar satellite dish. This can make refined storage drives, which is cool, and it also allows us to process ability discs, which I have no clue what they are for, even though I already started getting a bunch from the dungeons. I have no clue what this guy does. Tier 2, if used at night, moves celestial bodies to that of the following night, costs 2 charges. I have no idea what the hell that means, so I may kind of ignore this step. I don't know, I'll probably end up making them for completionism, so I can like have everything done. But I'd say this side of the quests now, like I want to go here, I want to start doing this, I want to go to Venus, I want to get the bartering done as well. And what else? Well, not really that much, you know. I need some ancient debris, get some sharpness and protections, not really that crazy. This will give us a Venus acid proof book, which is pretty good, and also give us a celestial gateway, but that's not really that crazy. Now I was also taking a look at these speed gears, so we may want to like try and get them, but they take empowered silver, which takes infused lapis, which means we really need to sort of automate a bunch of things here. Now, one of the main things that we do need to automate is those empowered stuffs, because they need to be processed through this guy right here. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to load. I don't really know why. I guess it has to do with like it's reading all of the pedestals. I don't know, it's weird how that guy like sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So yeah, as you guys can see, I can open the hopper, but I can't quite open this because you can open this. It does have a UI. It shows you like the power level that it currently has. I did also make a better lava factory over here. Now this requires, and it has 7 wells here, as you guys can see. They're now all pumping into this ender tank, and they also pump lava into this magmator, which in turn produces some power, which on its own powers these guys again. So it's pretty good, even though I do have one thermoelectric generator, which was how I kickstarted this entire process. But I'm pretty sure I can remove that now and just let this guy on its own power these dudes, and we should be good. I do still have to keep netherrack manually, but that's not really a big of an issue. And of course, you know, I'm trying to AFK as much as I can, because we do not have that much power generation over here. Even though these guys now have like full amounts of lava, which is pretty good, because I did increase the lava generation. But if you take a look, we just pulled 6 antimatter. And if I go over here, I'm now in range of my storage, which means I can go ahead and check for antimatter. We have 1 here, and I'm actually using them to make these iridium ingots. Why? Well, we could make these the universal pipes, but that's not really what I'm going for. You know, I would love to make these iridium seeds. They'll be really handy, but the iridium alloy is where it's at, because iridium alloys, first of all, they allow you to make this battery, which is useful to make the quantum chest and the better jetpack stuff. But the most important of this recipe is, if I can find it. Oh wait, 1 sec. Yes, of course, it's this. I need the ingots, so I can make iridium circuits. I just lost track of it. And I needed 4, so I can make my first enrichment chamber. And now, if I take a look here, and I just search for iridium, we have 4. We do have some alloys. Actually, if I pick up the alloy, yeah, that's a quest done. But what I really want to do is this. Now, I do need 2 more of these cables. Oh, that's actually perfect right there. Just about. Okay, we need some more infused redstonium, which means we need to automate this. Now, do we have access to the crafters? We do. That's good. Which means I need to set up a bunch of these guys with a bunch of these recipes that are actually allowing us to auto craft those resources over here. So whenever we need something, it just sends the items over here in their respective order, and boom. Now, it's a little bit more complicated than what you might think, because first of all, I need to hook up my system over here with some cables. That's all good and dandy, but then I'll probably have to go underneath here and set up a logistic. I'll probably have to dig up this corner as well, so that the items are inputted into the right pedestals, because they do have an actual order. For example, I don't believe none of these actually, yeah, this requires some dash. That's not really that crazy, but if any sort of infused recipe has this order, you know, it needs indigo corundum, it needs, like, for example, lavender quartz, prismarine shards, and apatite. All good, right? All good, but they do need to be set in order, and of course it also needs a block of lapisium. So I have to send like all those 5 items into, for example, this barrel, and then from this barrel go into the proper places, and then the output needs to be sent here and then sent back into the system. So I'll need some time for this. And here we go, we got ourselves the enrichment chamber. Now this is a very big step, a very big step into actually moving forward into Mechanism, one of my personal favorite mods. Now this will allow us to get a better resource usage. If we can, for example, let's place it here. Yeah, there you go. We can even just give it the muffling upgrade, because why not? And what I'm really gonna be doing right now is starting our work into possibly refined obsidian, because I think we can do that. I'm not really sure we can go for it right away, but as you guys can see, we kind of need like something like enriched gold. Wait, this is new. Why do we want enriched gold though? What can this possibly do? Oh, okay. Okay, I know. The diamond one is one of the most important ones because it is needed to make these advanced circuits. It's needed to make refined obsidian. So we need to make the best out of our diamonds. And I'm just gonna grab, for example, a stack of diamonds. I'm gonna literally just convert them into dust, and then I'm going to be converting them into their enriched version. So yeah, I got a little bit carried on now. Well, since I got my hands in the crafters, I've been trying to put the crafters wherever I can. I'm in the middle of setting up this one right now, but this one is actually going to be kind of a pain for a couple of reasons. This one is doing all the empowered items, and you can see all of them take empowered oil. Now, I want to check something out. The first thing being that this machine right here already has like a decent amount of empowered oil, right? So that's cool and all, but I want to see if the thing will still craft even though I don't have empowered oil in the system. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Let me check for one of the basic empowered ones that I know I have, which is literally none of them. Okay, I maybe have some empowered steel. So if we go over here and we go for, let me just check redstonium. Yes, I do have some redstonium. So empowered steel, we can craft. I'm going to craft one. Yeah, it won't actually let me craft because I don't actually have empowered oil in my system. So in order to deal with that, we are currently in the process of making some fluid cells. As you guys can see from this, I have 1k. Well, I am up all the way up to a 4k, and I need 3 more of these ones. So basically, if I pull this one out and do this one, and you can see there's already a bunch of recipes that I have hooked up. So if I type this recipe, because wait. Okay, there we go. So this one, I control click and I tell them, well, craft that, and it's gonna go ahead and craft that for us real quick. It's putting into the furnace upstairs. So if we go upstairs, you can see I changed all of these machines. They're all now pretty much hooked up to a crafter. So it should have been inputted into there. So now if I tell it, well, craft this, there we go. 2. Now I need 1, 4. I need 4 more of these ones. And you can see they take a lot of resources. Like a lot of resources. Like if I pull all of these out, well, I took 3 out. So I need to make a lot more of quartz enriched iron. So it's 2 stacks. It can do 2 stacks. That's literally what I want. I want to just be able to tell the machine to do stuff, and I just get stuff out. So basically, I got all these stuff. I've been actually going all the way back and forth into the quarry. Quarries, because now I got 2. I got one in the mesa biome already, and the one in the mesa biome is pretty much done as well. So you guys have a small idea of how much AFK actually. Oh no, it's actually fully done. Okay, perfect. This one should have gotten us, yeah, a decent amount of, not also building blocks, but I took most of the ores out already. That's why you're not seeing that many ores in the chest, but I really wanted like some more redstone, some lapis, some diamonds, and all those things, because we're kind of poor on some of these things. I'm actually going to take all of these redstone with me, and there's a bunch of other things that I still need to go through in this quarry, but I believe the next one should be in the nether. Like I've been progressing so much that I really don't even know what I've recorded or not. Basically, if I haven't chosen this yet, I have this, well, kind of automated at this point. I just need to put the items into the hoppers, and it's gonna do its thing. I only have one issue with this, is that I really have zero idea of how I can automate this. Like, I can maybe lock certain like pedestals from getting certain items, or I guess you can say hoppers from getting certain items. But basically, I would have to input all the things. If I'm trying to use a single crafter, which I believe that is the only way I can really do this, is I'm using a single crafter to put, for example, into this barrel. Then from this barrel, I need to take it out into all the pedestals, and all the pedestals need to be filtered correctly. Now, the problem would be if I try to make multiple things at the same time, they might end up like pulling different items into different recipes, and it's not really gonna go well. So in case you're wondering why I wanted like so high of a storage fluid disk, it's literally because if I stopped at the 4K, I had to make the lunar satellite dish and make some tanks. I haven't made any of this, so I just kept pushing until I made this one, because with this one, well, we just crafted into the storage disk. It's a little bit of a loophole. That's basically what I did with this one. I just went straight up to the 256k, because then I could just literally craft it. And for example, this one is 1k, took quite a while to do. But now we do have a fluid storage disks, which means I'm actually able to start pulling in some fluids. Now I was eventually gonna have to do that. For example, we can now store all of this seed oil into our system whenever we need it. You just put it into the fluid placer, then it does its thing, and then it triggers this one and triggers this one and then triggers this one, and then it will be sent, well, back to our storage, and then eventually sent into this one when it's needed. So I believe this is the next step, automating this part right here. So basically what I need to automate is I have to link my storage system into this seed drawer over here from our farm right here. I do still need to do Terra glass on top of there, so that's still gonna take quite a while. Then after I have those seeds connected, I need to basically send them into this guy. Well, not into this one, they still need to be crystallized, so they need to go into the energizing orb, then back into the system, then be put it into this one, and then at the same time we also need the second one that's actually going to be put through this process right here, so you can see like how crazy it's gonna go, because we need this recipe automated as well, this one right here. And then of course you can see the issue here, 4 red stonium crystals. And if I want to put it into the pedestal, like how am I gonna output into every single pedestal only 4 red stonium crystals if they're all coming from the same chest? I'm having so many headaches on this mod, and it's intended. It's intended for all, like, for all bad things that happen in this world. That's actually an intended feature, I guess you could say, of this pack. Now, I am actually doing quite a lot of this manually right now. As you can see, I have a couple of seeds. So basically, I click that one, I click this one, and then boom. And then, of course, I click this one, and it's going to pick it up. And at the moment is inputting into here, which is not, it's not that much of a big deal, which means I can actually craft things whenever I need. So whenever I need to, I just need to actually put things into the system. Now you might be wondering, well, how are you actually going to be able to deal with oil since it's a fluid and like normal items? Well, basically there's a thing called here that's called the multi-buffer. I made 2 of these already, and these are actually pretty helpful. I think I still have one here, or in my bag. Oh no, where is it? Well, there you go. I have this one right here, and basically, as you can see, it has like 9 stack holding capacity, plus it also has a tank. So this literally means whenever I need to automate, for example, carpenter recipes, I can just output all the items into here, then I'll just take the items from here into there, and then all the fluids would go from here to here. For example, right now it has 96 molten lead. I'll most likely get that out and put it back into my system. As you can see, I have a bunch of fluids. This one is a dud at the moment. This is an empty tank. I'll take that. And this one is already some lead. So we also need to automate
molten lead, and you can see how this basically keeps scaling and scaling up the more you try and do something or automate something, because it always goes back like 3 or 4 steps, and just those single steps are pretty complicated. And finally, after what seems like an eternity, I have this thing now up and running. Now I do still need to do a couple things before this is fully functional, but at the moment I already imported like the empowered oil ad in this machine. I imported a bunch of seed oil, and if we go over here into the storage, I had to make the fluid grid so I could actually see my fluids. I got 31 buckets, and then of course I just used a little bit of this to make some ingots so I could test this out, and it is actually working. If you guys want to actually see this working, we can just go ahead here and type steel, take that off. Let's tell them to do 1. It imports, the fluid also gets imported and then taken down there, and as you can see, it is actually working. We add nothing, and now we have 1. Of course, no, yeah, 10, but sure. Now there's a couple things that I still need to do. First of all is actually set this setup again, the one where I can demand for something, and if something is missing, it's gonna be crafted. So basically, I need to input a seed into this magma crucible. By inputting the seed into this magma crucible, I also need to send a redstone signal into a fluid placer to then place the fluid that it's gonna get from the magma crucible. Then I need the dispensers to actually dispense believe it or not, stuff, and in order to dispense the stuff I also need to craft those things. So basically every single time I want to craft something, I'm gonna need 3 types of seeds. So basically, take a look at the crystallized, that's not, oh no, what's the seed? Where's the seed? Oh, here they are. Yeah, basically we need 3 seeds. We need 1 flax seed that's gonna be, well, converted into seed oil. We need 1 that's gonna be energized into crystallized flax, and we're gonna need another one that's gonna be empowered and then turn into this guy. So this is gonna be a very complicated process because this actually needs to be made here. So it needs this. It needs a crystallized seed as well. So I'm really like trying to juggle it on my mind the best I can, so I can try and come up with a neat situation. I came up with this, which is kind of neat, you know, it kind of fits here well. We moved the energizing orb here, the setup that we already had, so now it powers up here. This is still manual, this is not the automated version. This one is the automated version at the moment. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell them, well, if you want to make these seeds, you put them into this chest. This chest inputs 1 at a time, and that rod just blasts it here and then gets imported back into our system. So for now, so fine, so good. And we're gonna do basically every single 1 item recipe that I can do. I'm just gonna automate here, and then later down the line we'll try and come up with a solution for here to try and make like bigger things happen over here as well. But this is the main issue at the moment. So what I originally thought is we're gonna need a crafter, and the crafter will have to put well, imagine this is a crafter, I guess. The crafter will have to output into a chest. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a chest and put it over here. Now this chest needs to output seeds into here, so just regular flax seeds into here. So but into this chest I need a flax seed, I need a crystallized flax seed, and I need an empowered flax seed. So I need all 3 of these things like being actually sent at the same time. So the only issue with that is because ideally I would just take a comparator output here. So for example, if I even have a comparator here somewhere, which I do, I'll just take a comparator output, and for example, let me just grab some seed. I'm looking in the wrong spot. Just a single seed, and see if this actually turns on. Oh, it actually doesn't. Huh. So it doesn't. Okay, but I could get it from the chest, basically. I can still just get it from the chest. So when the chest gets inputted something, it's gonna do it. The only like issue that I probably have, and I can actually think now that I think about it, is the redstone. Because if I have like the same setup that I had, which was something like this, no, not entirely like this, it was on the same. So we have the placer, sure, and then we have the collector. Okay, so basically from this setup I need to individually power the machines. So the dispensers can basically only be powered when they have something on them, and the fluid placer, after the fluid placer places something, I actually need to detect that this is actually the final version so that I can trigger this guy. Now I'm not sure if if there's like a fluid observer. I don't think there's such a thing. I really don't think that's such a thing, and I'm not sure I can like filter out the fluid collector. I'll actually check. The fluid collector is from industrial foregoing. So if we go into industrial and then type filter, we do have nothing. There's nothing here. I mean, not that I know of course. I'm not really even seeing what I wanted to. Oh, there you go. Industrial foregoing. So we have efficiency, range. There's a lot of range, but there's processing, there's speed, but there's no actual filter. Yeah, there isn't. So that's bad. Because imagine the case where this guy puts the fluid, this guy tosses a seed, but this one doesn't, and then it gets picked up. You see what I'm going with this? It doesn't actually line up with what I needed to do. So I might need to send it with several different redstone pulses. And maybe even make it on different like chambers. So I basically need another fluid collector and another fluid placer, and maybe I could actually have it better ish. It's kind of complicated whenever I just keep thinking about it. Like it gets more and more complicated every single time, because I need to think where things go, and that's just gonna hurt my head. Guys, I think I'm onto something. Well, you know, I said I need 3 seeds. Well, technically I need 12 seeds, because I actually need to input 10 of these flax seeds, and then I need 1 of each and every single one of these ones. So basically I just put these ones into the dispensers, and then I just put 10 seeds here. They get melted by the magma crucible, which I can speed up to make this thing even, well, a little bit safer. And then seed oil gets placed and empowered oil gets picked up. That's actually so very much satisfying. The only thing that I need to do is probably upgrade this guy so it's faster, so it's safer all around. I do need to place like some sort of block like here, maybe even a glass block or something. For example, this clear glass one, like here, so that the seeds just don't go and fly out. And I don't even know if clear glass is the best option for this. I also need to sort out the seeds so that only flax seeds go into here, and then 1 seed goes into this one, and then the other seed goes into this one. And then
I can fully automate this thing, which is crazy, man. It's just really crazy. It's pretty good, pretty good. And so guys, it's with all this automation going on and my head just hurting, and this video took longer than what I kind of hoped for, not due to the lack of time, but that still's gonna happen like for the next week or so, but mainly because this thing is getting complicated and getting a little bit out of hand, as you guys can see. But yeah, still, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't, and see you in the next one. Bye.